Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back here with another video, and before I get into this video, get into the meat and potatoes of it, I just want to express as much as I possibly can that I am very, very appreciative of the support and positive comments and feedback you guys have been giving me on these last few videos I uploaded. And I didn't really even expect much from them. I kind of just did it because I had been talking about it with some friends of mine, and I talked and I talked and I talked, and I was like, maybe I should just do it, and I did, and it's gone really well so far, and I have all of you to thank for that, and especially some of my friends on Discord, and some people in real life that I know, just kind of telling me to keep going and doing this, and so here I am. I'm back for a fourth installment of the Reddit Stories video, and I hope you guys enjoy this and enjoy the nice, relaxing gameplay in the background. And yeah, let's get right into this. So this first story is from r slash what should I do. I'm becoming less attracted to my wife. This is a throwaway account for obvious reasons. My wife, 33 female, and I, 33 male, just hit 10 years of marriage. We've been together since we were young, dumb, and broke, and now have a 9, 7, and 5-year-old. The problem is that we've stayed young, dumb, and broke for the last decade. We usually just chill at home and play video games night in and night out. We don't have a lot of friends and moved out of our hometown about 5 years ago, so we don't have much of a support system where we live. Lately, I have been feeling really low, and it's gotten me to the point where I have had it, and I want to make a better life for myself and my family. I want us to become hard workers and enjoy life rather than just sitting lazily by and not doing anything with our lives. This is the point where we are now. I'm on the up and up, but my wife isn't budging. The more I improve myself and change my frame of mind, the more I noticed pet peeves or issues with how my wife's point of view is. A great example is how she has an external loss of control, that every issue she has is because of her surroundings, and how she can't get better because that's just how she is, or how she would work out if the conditions were better. It's just becoming more and more to the point where it's unattractive. But at the same point, I wasn't much better than her just a couple short months ago. However, my main concern is that as I improve, my standards continue to raise. If she doesn't improve, she won't move those bare minimums anymore. Is it fair that I'm moving the goalposts this far into my marriage? Ooh, okay. This is a rough topic because, well, I don't know about you guys, but I have never been married, and I'm not even old enough to have been with someone for 10 years, but I'm going to give it my best shot here. Um, so, I don't have an exact reason, or I don't have an exact idea of what you should do, but I think something to consider here is that I don't think you're being selfish. I think you genuinely want to improve your life, and you want to do that for not only yourself, but for your kids, to set, a standard for them, I guess. Something that they can see and look to strive past or strive to. And, whether that's making more money, working out, eating healthier, being more active just as a person throughout your day, there's a lot of steps that you can take to better yourself. And I think you doing that and your wife not might be something that unfortunately causes you two to split apart. And it's not the worst thing possible. It might be really unfortunate for our children, of course, because, kids love when mom and dad stay together, and it usually does help when it comes to them being happy, but I'm sure you two could make something work if you really cooperate in that sense. And I don't think, I don't think your wife is maybe the person that you want to be with anymore. I think at some point you did want to be with her. At some point you genuinely were attracted to her. And I think at that point you also had different standards and you wanted to live your life in a different way. Now that you're going towards a new direction and starting to change in your own life, and you are asking for her to do that with you, and she doesn't want to, or she can't, whatever reason it may be, she just doesn't want to do that. And I think it's okay that she doesn't want to do that, but I do think it's okay and fair that, you're not attracted to her anymore as a person, because you're changing. You as a person are changing as well, and we all do. We all go through different changes in our life and live different stories, and it makes us turn out as different people. So, no, I don't think you're bad for that, and I just think, if you and your wife can't work something out, you shouldn't force her to change for you, and you shouldn't settle for something that you don't want. You should go out there and find yourself in this new version of yourself, apply it to society, and just see what you can do. I think that's what you need to do. Anyways, on to the next story. We got, the classic, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to download a live tracker app for my GF? Now, I just want to say this immediately. I've gone through this before, not with my girlfriend. Usually I just tell her where I'm going or if I'm going to do something, and she does trust me there. But I will preface this before I go into this story that these tracker apps can be good for you if you, let's say you're going on a trip and you want to give, I don't know, your parents your location and they can track you to make sure you're safe. Like there's a lot of safety that can actually be achieved through these apps, and I can definitely see that perspective. Just wanted to preface that before we got into the content of the story. Anyways, the story reads, I, male 25, refuse to download it because it seems I'm untrustworthy for her, female 22. We've only been dating for 3 months and I seriously do care, and genuinely love her. For further context, lately I've been overwhelmed with work and I keep telling her this job is taking out of my mental health. I need some personal space to calm myself down, and all I do to calm myself is just staying home and play games. When I do, I sometimes don't look at my phone and won't reply to anyone, including her. Sure, communication might be the problem coming from me. I should just tell her I want to play games and won't touch my phone. But I've already told her over and over she can just check my Discord/Steam if I'm playing or not. I literally only have 1 day off from a 45-hour work week. I also understand where she's coming from. Before we met, she got cheated on her previous relationship. She said that was her first time dealing with that kind of heartbreak. I've been there too, but I don't like it when she brings her trauma to this relationship. We talked about this and she asked, so I was the problem? We got into a heated argument, and in the end, I gave in and moved on. Am I the asshole? Or am I too indulging on my own right as a partner? I don't think you're the asshole. I do want to go over some of the little things here. I'm glad that you recognize that it probably was your fault for not communicating properly when it comes to, just being like, hey, I need to decompress, and I'm probably not going to say anything to you for a couple hours, and if I'm short with you, it's because I'm just trying to relax and I'm trying to focus on what really calms me down. And I also don't think that I don't think that you're entirely wrong for not wanting her to bring her trauma into the relationship to affect what you two have. But at the end of the day, a part of being in a relationship with somebody is accepting them for who they are. And whether they are riddled with trauma and riddled with anxiety, depression, whatever that may be, if you can help them and if you do truly love them, and it's okay if you aren't, it's okay if you do love them and you just can't help them and you need to leave them because you can't handle it, or maybe it may have something to do with your position in life and how busy you are and how much they need from you, and you aren't able to give them that. That is also something that is possible. But if you are able to help, and if you are able to take in the trauma that she experienced in her last relationship and help her work on that as a partner by doing these things, like, I get it. It's a live tracker app. I probably wouldn't be too comfortable at first doing it, either myself. But there are little things like this that you can do for her that might help her get over this trauma. And I'm sure as you guys go on and live your life together that this trauma will go away and you will be able to live with her without having to turn on this tracker app, and you guys will be able to be together like that without having to worry about any of this or any of this external trauma she's bringing into the relationship. And when you accept somebody into your arms and you love them and you are their main support system, of course they're gonna bring trauma to you. It's just how it works. You're their support system. After being together, that's kind of how things work like that. And you guys need to learn how to work on each other's issues together. And you guys become a team once you are an item like that. And it's okay as well if you aren't willing to bear that trauma from her. If you're not willing to help carry her weight, if you've got too much of your own, or you just have too much on your own plate at this point in your life, it's okay. It's not a big deal. You can move on. You can find somebody else who requires, I don't want to say like less carrying of their weight, but I'm not really sure how else to put it. But yeah, you're not the asshole, but there's some things I think you need to realize for yourself too there, and work on that. Work on finding those answers. But yeah, let's go on to the next one. We have a new, I've looked into a new subreddit today as well, r/confessions. This story reads, I have been struggling with male loneliness, and it's my own fault. There is some context needed for this. I, 31 male, married with kids, and am by all metrics right where I need to be. So at least what I feel is that I'm very grateful to have gotten where I am with a loving and supportive immediate and secondary family. I don't have any real friends, at least none of my age group, that I can connect with in a way that I want. Before my wife and I had our son, I had a great group of friends that I bonded with through traveling for college athletics. After that ended, and I needed to focus on my degree, we parted ways. I struggled to make friends because I didn't want to get close to people when I knew I wasn't going to set down roots where my school was. For about 5 to 10 years, I purposely avoided making new friends because attachment seemed unnecessary. And now that I'm older, I've realized how much of a blunder that was. At least once or twice a week, I feel as though I'm missing a part of something that I had before. I'm not in contact with any of the people from college because my life has changed a lot since then and we no longer have the same values as we once did. My male loneliness is self-inflicted wound, resulting from lifestyle choices and a lack of interest in connection with other men my age. Don't be like me. So, this is kinda sad, and a part of me can sympathize with this. I don't really feel like I'm lonely, but there was a point in my life where at least I can pinpoint to personally that I kind of understood this, and I felt pretty lonely when it came to friends that I had, and some of the people I did talk to, I felt as though were family friends or just family people that I had, kind of had an obligation to ask how I was doing and speak to me. And some of the friends I had in school felt as though they were kind of just talking to me because they saw me that day or because they had to do an assignment with me or study with me. And some of them just kind of felt very, very communicative on the basis that they were just passing by and just needed someone to talk to in that moment and would run to somebody else whenever they got the chance because they were better friends with them. So I can kind of relate to this in that kind of way. Um, just make friends. Just try and start a conversation with people, even if you do feel uncomfortable. It's a good thing, kind of, when it comes to trying to talk to people because you're getting the feel for how someone is in a conversation, and it is an uncomfortable thing, especially if you haven't spoken to that person before. And even conversations with people can be uncomfortable if, depending on the conversation you're having. And just know that all conversations and all social things can turn to be and feeling uncomfortable for both people. If you talk to somebody else, a big chance is they're going to be uncomfortable too, especially if it's someone you don't know or have never spoken to before. And if you're worried about attachment and not setting roots in a place that you're familiar with, like your school or like I guess near family, then set roots in other places. Create roots in places that you didn't think you could. So you always have those. And so you can always fall back onto those if you really need to. If all else fails. That's what I've done. I know people from a lot of places. I have family in a lot of different places as well. I have a pretty good support system, I'd say, and I don't really actually have many friends anymore, but during high school I had a lot of friends. And even now I've got one really good in real life friend that I can kind of hang out with whenever I want, and we share very similar hobbies and play the same games and enjoy the same types of discussion. And I'm also friends with his family. And so there you go. I mean, there's a lot you can do. Just don't be afraid to go talk to somebody. Do an activity, go find a hobby and go somewhere where you need to have other people to do that hobby, like painting. There's a lot of people who do painting, community painting or as a hobby where you go out in public to a little place and you paint. I've seen it a lot. There's lots of public activities like that. Just don't seclude yourself for your whole life. It's bad. A lot of us as human beings, we kind of survived off of the fact that we could speak to each other like no other animal in the world could, and really understand and look into each other's minds like nothing else has ever been able to during our existence. So yeah, take advantage of that. Take advantage of what makes us special as humans. Don't be afraid. It's really easy to get caught in that trap where you're just alone, and it's really sad, and it's really bad for you. So yeah, I do recommend just trying to go talk to people through shared interests of, I don't know, a hobby or something. And all right, let's get on to this last story here. We have from the subreddit, Am I the Asshole? The classic. So it reads, Am I the asshole for not wanting to give up video games for my girlfriend? Oh, here we go. This one's already going to be rough, I can tell. It might make some of you gamers out there mad. Don't be mad. Don't be upset already. But let's get into this. I, 33 male, just started a relationship with someone, 26 female. And one thing we disagree on is me playing 2 hours of video games a week. She refuses to continue the relationship unless I stop playing video games completely. First of all, I want to say 2 hours of video games a week, that's pretty damn, good. If, that's the limit. For me, that seems very reasonable. Spending 2 hours a week on a hobby that you enjoy is a very reasonable thing, in my opinion. I sometimes spend way longer. Sometimes I spend 5 hours a day, depending on the game I'm playing. But 2 hours a week is good. I feel like that's great. I don't know. Call me crazy, guys, in the comments or whatever. But to me, that's great. Continuing on. Before you say anything, yes, I know it is a childish hobby of mine. But that is exactly why I need it in my life. I have a lot on my shoulders with work, family, issues with my health, issues that I don't want to give too much detail about, so I can remain anonymous. The one thing that helps my mental health and allows me to distress is playing a game for 2 hours a week, where I can forget about the million responsibilities that I have and just relax my mind. I'm not asking to play for 10 hours a day, just a few hours a week after she falls asleep. Her issue with it is that she wants 100% of my free time. I gave it up for a month now, and my mental health has gone downhill. Am I the asshole here for wanting to stand my ground and lose the relationship over a few hours of game time? Okay, gamers, you can be a little upset at this. I will give you the floor here. Just get mad, rage a little bit over this, because as a gamer myself, I'm a little annoyed kind of at this girlfriend of this guy for two hours a week. I feel like that's not even a lot to progress in certain games. I feel like, I don't know, if I could only play 2 hours a week, I would probably lose a lot of interest in the game I'm playing, because I would forget by the time I got back to the next week of what I was doing. I don't know. I don't think you're the asshole at all. I think you need to stand your ground here. If, the one thing that in your life is childish, and yes, it is a little childish, but so is watching football. So is watching basketball. It's entertainment. All entertainment is a little childish. You're watching someone do something that they do really well, and that's all it is. And if you're playing something, and maybe you're playing in a world that's full of demons and you're killing demons or whatever, I don't know, you're doing it because you can't do something like that in real life, and it's really fun and it helps you relax. And 2 hours a week isn't a lot to ask for when it comes to anything. And I think 2 hours a week of alone time isn't a lot to ask for either, especially if that alone time you're getting and playing games is helping you genuinely with your mental health and keeping it together for yourself and for your girlfriend. I personally think you need to really have a talk with her about this, because a part of me kind of feels somewhere in deep within my mind, I hope at least, that she is a reasonable person, and the reason that she is has a problem with 2 hours a week is because she doesn't understand. Maybe she doesn't get it like you do. Maybe she didn't grow up with video games. Maybe you really need to lay it down for her, hey, this is my hobby, and I love this. And I love this because it's the window into my childhood when I had no responsibilities, when I could come home and play 4 hours of video games after school and not care about anything else. You need to really break it down for her, I think, because at the end of the day, I play a lot of games. A lot more than 2 hours a week, by the way. And if I was with somebody that made me drop video games, I don't think I could do it, because it also does the same thing for me. I like to focus my time into video games to achieve these these little stupid things in these games because it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like when I had no stress when I was a kid and I could just do what I wanted. I feel like that's what it does for a lot of people. So yeah, you're not the asshole at all here, buddy. And gamers unite. No, I'm just kidding. Just explain this. Just explain this to your girlfriend, and I feel like if you really do emphasize the fact that this is childish because it makes you feel like you're a kid again, then I think she might get it. I think a lot of other people would too if anyone else has an issue with it. Um, yeah, that's the last story I have for you guys today. Um, Blew through 4 stories today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'm gonna say this for the first time. I'm not sure if I said this in any other videos, but if you want to see more of this, subscribe and turn post notifications on. And if you liked the video, you should leave it a like because I really do appreciate the positive feedback. And speaking of feedback, if you want to leave a comment criticizing me for anything, constructive and politely, of course, then go ahead and do that. And I'll respond and maybe make some changes to my content to make it easier for you guys to consume and, keep making sure it stays fun for me to make. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.